What is up guys, and welcome to my latest video here on SP Vids. Today we have the Polyend Tracker out, and this is a quirky, fun little device. And today specifically what I want to show you is this area which I have on the screen here. It's called the performance mode. Now, I've owned quite a lot of samplers over the years. I've never seen anything like this on a device. Maybe there are other devices out there that have a similar thing. If you know of any, leave it in the comments below. It'd be interesting to hear about that. I've got this little beat which I've been making, and yeah, it's really just for demonstration purposes, but I'll just play through it to show you exactly what we're going to be working with. And the drums that I've used are from one of my packs. I'm not sure quite which one, but I'm pretty sure it's Lo-Fi Drums Volume 5. If you wanted to pick up any of my packs, use the links in the description below, and that really helps support what I'm doing here. So I'll just play through this for you. Okay, really simple stuff, a nice chilled kind of jazzy sort of loop there. And yeah, I'm going to show you through this performance area in as much detail as I can. So it's really simple to get to it. There's a dedicated button up here. You can see it says perform. You just go into that and you're greeted with this screen. So one thing that's important to know before I start this is that you can control everything on the device like this. You can also use MIDI as well to control it externally. I'm not going to be talking about the MIDI side of things in this particular video, just everything that you can do on this unit, but I just wanted to point out that that is possible. And this bar along the top that you can see here, which has got a load of blanks in it, that's to do with the MIDI configuration. So for this tutorial, you're not going to see anything in that top bar really happening. I just wanted to point out that that's what that is for, and that's why it's there. So at the top of the screen, you can see here we've got performance effects, and in the middle, it kind of gives us a timer. It shows a symbol in the middle to show if we're either in pattern mode or whether we're in the song mode of this device. Now, this device has got song mode, so you can chain all of your patterns together and make a full song if you wanted to. So yeah, you can be in either one of those modes and still use the performance area, which is pretty cool. And then you can see here on mine it's saying P1, so pattern 1, and it tells you the step as well. Like I say, the next row is for MIDI stuff, so we won't be talking about that in this video. The next section, you can see here, although it's side on for you guys, there's a load of different effect names. Now you can change all of these, and you've got a choice between 21 different effects, a total of 12 slots, so you can fill these slots with 12 different effects out of the 21 available basically. And although it looks quite complicated at first, the screen, it's really quite easy to understand. So whatever effects you decide to set in these positions, you can see that there is then a table underneath with different values in. Now these are all things that I've plugged in, and they actually correspond to the pads underneath here. So you can see, for example, I have low pass cutoff. The top parameter slot is empty. Then I've got minus 25, minus 50, minus 75. So that's kind of like the intensity of that effect. These values don't directly correlate to exactly what's happening. It's just a way of displaying the information in a way that's easy to understand, I guess. So for example, if I wanted to apply that effect, is choose it here, look. So now I have minus 25 low pass cutoff applied. In some instances, you can have multiple things happening at the same time as well. So let's say delay send, for example, let's say we wanted that as well. I can put that on too. And obviously, you know, you can change to whatever value you want, and it's going to highlight it in the screen. So you can fill all these slots with whatever parameters you want for that particular effect. So it's extremely powerful. So that's that area covered and showing you the correlation between the pads. We've got one final part at the bottom here. You can see the tracks. Now these are synced up with these buttons underneath here. So everything's very tactile with this area. And what you can do is highlight these using these buttons. And those are the tracks which are going to take the effects that you've applied to it. So basically you can choose which tracks at any one time are going to have a specific effect. So for example, low pass cutoff, let's say I've got it at minus 50. Let's put it at minus 75 so you guys can definitely hear this. You can see I've got my track names here, kick, snare, hat, and chops. So I'm going to apply that just to the chops. So let's go ahead and give that a go, and I'll apply this effect during the playback. Okay, so let's hit chop. Okay, so it's really easy to use and really, really fun. I'll just do one more quick example. Let's say delay send. So I've got plus 70 set up here. So I'll prep that and have it ready. And we'll press play again. And I'll apply this to all the drums at the same time so you guys can definitely hear this. Okay, so you can hear there, I was able to apply that to all those 3 tracks at the same time. All I had to do was press all 3 at the same time and then we were good to go. Another really cool thing about this area is that you can kind of remix tracks, which this is probably the most powerful thing about it. Now in this lo-fi hip-hop example that I've got, it might not show it off the best, but it will certainly give you an idea of what it can do, and I'm sure you'll be able to use your own imaginations to be able to do really cool stuff with this. So at the bottom here we have our tracks, but you can actually change which track is playing back from whatever pattern you've built. So you can see here my kick, snare, hat and chops are all playing from pattern 1, but I can go ahead and click and hold this and use the arrows. And you can see now I can play my kick from pattern 2 and it's queued it up ready, that's why it's flashing red. But the other tracks that I've got programmed in here, they're still playing from pattern 1. So you can start really getting pretty mad with this and taking different tracks from different patterns and merging them together and basically fully remixing your tracks on the fly, and it's going to cue them for you as well, so it's all in time. You can actually do this without it queuing if you use the jog wheel instead of the arrows. But obviously to keep it neat and to keep it working nicely, it's probably best to use the method that I've done here. So what I'm going to do is start this pattern with my kick on pattern 1, and then I've got a third pattern which doesn't have any drums on it whatsoever, but I'm only going to change the kick. So what that will do essentially is mute the kick. Again, like I say, maybe not the best example, but hopefully it gives you an idea of the sort of thing you can do with this. So we'll go ahead and press play, and I'm going to change this kick to pattern 3. I'm going to make sure we use the arrows, and nearly use the jog wheel there. The jog wheel does it instantly. So there we go, and we let go, and now it's queuing. And let's go back to 1. And there we go. So I imagine if you've got loads of different variations of your chops and your drums going on, you can start to build some really crazy things there. And then obviously on top of that, you're able to apply the effects as well. So there's a lot of variation that you can do here, basically unlimited. And obviously, like I say, you can change all the effects as well. Another thing you can do in this area is mute as well. Now these aren't synced to the metronome or the timer, so you do have to use your internal clock to get this right. But all you have to do is press and hold shift, and you can see here now that everything's changed to mute. So I'll do a quick example. We'll do play, and I'll just do some mutes with the drums to show you guys how this works. Okay, so really simple stuff, but you have got access to that. You will have heard that I didn't quite get the timing right with that first mute, so it cut off one of the kicks a little bit. So you do have to have your timing in check for that particular feature, but it's still nice to have and really fun to jam with live as well. A couple of things to note is you can have this area playing and you can dip into other areas and check what's going on. So for example here, I can have this playing and go into the song mode and I can see what's happening. So if I was playing back song mode, which you do by doing shift and play, you can do shift and play, and this is going to play back the song that I've built. And if I want to, while this is happening, I can go into the song and see what's going on, see where things are up to. So you can see there it's making its way through the patterns that I've chosen. And I can go back into the perform mode again, maybe apply some effects. So before the video finishes, I just wanted to quickly show you a couple of other things. If you hit record in this area, and you can use the arrows like this, you can see that I can move across all of these lanes or channels and play around with the parameters that I've set. You can change the effect, and you can actually change the order of these as well. So if I go to this blank lane at the end, I'm going to go ahead and start using the up and down arrow, and you can see here that there's different options for me to scroll through in terms of effects. So volume, panning, tune, low pass cutoff, I've already got that, high pass, band pass, delay send, loads of different effects to choose from basically, right? So let's just say we were going to do a low pass filter again. We've put that into that slot. So if I go ahead and press one of these slots here, I'm going to press the second one down, I'm going to press and hold it, and then I'm going to turn the jog wheel, and you can see here I can set this to whatever I wanted. So let's go ahead and say I wanted it at -30, for example. There we go, and maybe I'll do the next one at -60 if it will let me do that. Maybe we'll do that at 50. And then the next one we'll do at 60 if we're able to. Yeah, so there we go. And then we come out of record mode, and that's all set up and ready to go now. So if I press play again now, and let's go ahead and select -60 on this lane and put it on the chops again. There we go, that's all set up and ready to go. And as far as I can tell, this kind of top slot here is kind of a way of just being able to improvise on the fly with the particular effect that you're on. So if I were to set this on chops, and we've got the low pass cutoff set here, I'm going to press and hold the top button while it's playing and use the jog wheel, and it will apply the effect like a sweep. Now this is really easy to do on the SP404 Mark II, because we've got the dials. You can do a similar thing with the jog wheel. It's a little bit more fiddly because you're sort of going around and around in a circle, but it does work. So I'll show you an example here. We can go down like this, and you can hear it's applied that effect now. Now as soon as I let go of this button, you can see it resets to 0. So that top lane on each of the effects is kind of a way that you can jam that effect live and affect the parameter on the fly. So that's pretty cool as well. Now I think there's only one last thing that I want to show you guys. There's been quite a lot to talk about in this area. If you have record mode set to on and you want to reorder these effects, all you have to do is press shift, and then you can do left or right, and you can see it's just moved reverb send there. I can move that all the way up, or I could move it across. So you can move the effects to whatever positions you want as well. So if you want to customize that, that is possible too. So that is it, guys. That is probably my favorite feature of the Polyend Tracker, the whole performance area. It's really powerful. It's got loads of parameters that you can mess around with. That remixing of the tracks I think is really, really cool as well. Overall, it's a really great feature, and I love messing around with my beats in this area. So I hope this one was useful. I hope this one was insightful. If you've got any questions, or you've got anything that I've maybe missed that you want to talk about, then please feel free to leave a comment below. But apart from that, guys, that is it for this one. So thanks very much for watching. Big shout out to all my members, and I will be back with another video very, very soon.